Beep, 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 boop.
Bots aren't banned, by the way. You get banned for 2 weeks.
We'll leave that in, because why not? So, hello everyone. We have Mr. Protoxx and Mr. Evil Lucario with us today, and today's going to be talking about mobile, even though we just, we're robots. Don't worry about it. We're having a good time, and hopefully it'll be a fun podcast to listen to. Obviously, Mr. Evil Lucario is the man, the myth, the legend who's done 4,000 Telos with no food on mobile, because he's insane. So it'll be really, really fun to dive in and see what he has to say about mobile at the high end. I've done a lot of skilling on mobile, so we can talk about that. I know Protoxx has done a mix between both, so it'll be fun to give feedback and think about what Jagex can do to improve mobile and everything like that. So that's pretty much what today's podcast is going to be. So hello, Mr. Protoxx. Hello, Mr. Evil Lucario. How are you guys doing today?
I'm going real good. I can't wait to talk about a lot of stuff because, boy, do I have a lot to say about mobile.
I bet you do. Jesus.
I assume the lots is going to be constructive criticism.
I hope so.
Okay.
So I guess starting out, what do you think was your hardest challenge when doing the 4K Telos No Food on the mobile?
Figuring out where all my binds and all my abilities should go, because you only have 14 slots to use at a time. So you have to improvise. At first, I wrote a Google Doc of, okay, I'm doing these abilities. These are the core main things I need to use. I can only afford to use these. And then that quickly became okay, this became too weak. I'm doing no damage. Some mechanics are just impossible for me to do. What do I even do here? And then I messed around with the ribbon, which is basically the side icons on the right side of the screen, That's just called the ribbon on mobile. It's different between desktop and mobile, by the way. But I decided to bring up the ability book, and I got flashbacks to 2013 to 2014, 2015 combat, where people had their ability books up because we didn't have multiple action bars on the screen at the same time. So I was okay, let's revert back to those things. Put weapons on bar, put the necessary prayers on bar, and one more special thing, after P1, I'll swap out my Elthor's Grimoire for a superior Scrimshaw Vampirism so I can heal and get a lot of life sustain back. But but the problem is that after that, I have to have my ability book up and have to click every single individual ability right then and there. So they're all in very scattershot positions. Cleave will be somewhere where my thumb can reach easily, but backhand will be all the way at the top. It's no, that's not fun at all. That is absolutely not fun. And then after that, it became a exercise of patience in terms of dealing with, okay, I have to destroy all of my action bars, so I can't do anything on PC. I can't even do my Reaper task because all of my bars are just gone. I used 10 bars in total for that kill.
Jesus
I had to
Christ.
switch through all of those bars. It was absolutely awful.
Yeah, and there's delay switching, you said, because I remember you watching a clip
there's
of
delays, and if you want to switch bars, there's a tick delay, but you can still you can switch bars and tap on the icon and you'll still get it off on the same tick. So it's not too bad, but that brings into the main big grievance I have with mobile is that on mobile you cannot multi-tap two icons at the same time. You cannot tap on two things at the same time, otherwise you will nullify the actions. That's the biggest problem I have with mobile, honestly speaking.
Yeah, so if you press your thumb on both your thumbs down, it won't detect either of them.
Yeah, have you guys ever encountered that or done anything that required that?
No.
I think it's because you can use if you put both your fingers down or whatever, you can use that to rotate your camera.
Zoom in, zoom out.
Yeah. So as soon as you put both of them down, I think it detects you doing that.
Right. And it works throughout interfaces as well. So it's I get it from that angle. And when I was messing around with mobile, when I just tried zooming in and out outside of interfaces, outside of action bars or inventory, it felt a lot more limiting. So I understand why that's the case. But at the same time, I still feel that you could still implement some sort of multi-tap feature without compromising the zoom
Yeah.
feature. You know?
They have a lot of like toggles on the desktop client. I'm sure there could be a toggle where it's like multi-tap feature.
Yeah, toggles are great, but like I really do feel like that's the biggest thing holding it back because without multi-tap, doing stuff like using abilities at the same time as eating when full manual or even like manually activating stuff, a lot harder than it should be. And if you're playing on a tablet where you have a bigger screen so you can use more fingers at the same time, it won't be as fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
It really wouldn't be. It would just feel a lot more like unresponsive for no reason.
Did you find it difficult pressing your abilities in your spellbook? Because surely the ability icons would be small and you could easily like fat finger a second ability or whatever, like the wrong
Yeah,
ability.
I miss tap a lot. It's very small and sometimes just flat out miss
Hmm.
because mobile. Oh, here's a fun fact. That was the first time I ever gamed seriously on a mobile device. Period.
And he did 4K Telos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
that's a good way to start.
I think he can retire, man. I think it's done. He's
Yes.
done, dude.
Now I just jumped into the swimming pool with anchors around my ankles.
Basically, yeah. I've done a couple of like mobile MMORPGs. Some game called Avabel or something. Like some Korean MMO, and that was pretty smooth on mobile actually. And I don't know. RuneScape combat feels like if you aren't using Revolution in mobile, in my opinion, it's kind of tricky. So
Let's put this out there. We're jumping. I'm gonna jump ahead a bit here, but like I'm just gonna say flat out that full manual is almost guaranteed to be forever feel terrible,
Mm.
and I would never ever recommend doing full manual on mobile. It will not be fun, and you just have nothing available to you. You just can't.
At least Revo Plus Plus is still pretty decent DPS at a lot of bosses.
it's better now as well. Like the update.
It's better now. But in terms of like active combat, I feel like that there's a little bit like a limit, and anything more to make it better will require some drastic changes. Like, have you guys ever had any like difficulties beyond like the usuals with mobile
View range is what I found annoying at Rax.
year range?
Darkness path. You can't physically see the light. That might be because my settings were turned on power save, so I can't say it for sure. But I could
Oh,
not see any of the lights unless they spawned close to me in the darkness path.
huh. Okay.
It's a big deal. Like if you were learning
I
Rax on
do,
mobile,
yeah.
you'd be dead. Like you wouldn't know what's going on.
Especially because mobile is mobile. You want to conserve your battery, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's relevant as well. Like, and I still had the settings on pretty high, apart from like power saving. It still looked
Hmm.
pretty good.
I have to check that out because that sounds dire.
It's just darkness path though, but still, yeah, you don't have much view range. Like in general mobile, if you go to like Anachronia, you can't see much where you get to the lodestone. You can't if you're going around the island. A Big Game Hunter would probably have the same issue. I haven't tried Big Game Hunter on mobile yet. It's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
Have you tried Big Game Hunter on mobile, Maikeru?
I have not, no.
Oh,
I've
okay.
I've mostly done like basic stuff on mobile, like the AFK stuff, because I didn't want to do too active things. But I feel like the loot, like area loot radius on mobile, makes a decent amount of things pretty good to actually do on there.
Better, even kind of.
Yeah, like it technically is better, but you don't get Alt 1, right? So if people are doing Alt 1 to AFK and they get loot beam notifications, obviously that's good for PC. But like Capsarius, you can loot from the other side of the room. Like if you're sitting in the middle of the room, you can loot anywhere in there. And then the same applies with what Ken was doing recently, Pyre Fiends for the ashes on an Iron Man. So you get the impious ashes, right? And then those impious ashes go to Spirit Weed incense sticks. So on an Iron Man, you have to get that yourself, or on a main when you're making money, they're worth a lot of money. So typically you can sit in the middle of the Pyre Fiends area and just carry them in for AoE them all down with an aggro pot, and then area loot the whole area of that dungeon and get all of your ashes.
Crazy.
So like there is some decent uses for mobile with that area loot system. I think it's actually pretty cool. Like that's actually more GPN hour doing it that way, AFK, than doing it on PC. So there is benefits to it, I guess, which is pretty huge. But the thing that annoys me is you can't resize interfaces on mobile. So
Mm.
the area loot interface is like really obnoxious.
It's in the center of the screen. It's very, very intrusive.
And it's massive. It's like a quarter of your screen is the area loot. It's okay if you're doing something AFK because you can just sit in the middle and you're just AFK in and you just loot. But like it's just obnoxious.
If you're actively playing the game and you're a new player, you're not gonna know to AFK at the game. It will probably be a little bit weird to just deal with,
Yeah, it'd
right?
probably be annoying, honestly, if you continuously like you kill a cow, you try and pick up their stuff and it pops up in the middle of your screen. You're like,
I would not play it.
So yeah, I guess that's the good and the bads of area loot then, yeah.
I'd like to come back to that later though, because I want to go back to like PVM stuff. Like, what do you guys think would like help improve the focus for you, like the PVM stuff for you? Like, because like I have my ideas on it, but like I want to get your guys' thoughts on it first.
Mine would be like a rescalable or more customizable interface because like I understand that they're very limited with mobile and the interface is pretty good, but just being able to resize a certain window or something like that, if that's possible, it would help a lot because sometimes when you're PVMing, there's so many windows open that you can barely see what you're doing in your PVMing, you know, on mobile especially
Yeah.
because it's a small screen.
Mm-hmm. Now, this won't solve your issues entirely, but there is a workaround slash bug that involves your mobile settings. What you could do is you open up your RuneScape client, and then you switch your resolution to either lower or higher. If you switch it to a lower resolution, you make the interface obnoxiously bigger. Like
Mm.
it like the interface is so much larger, and like you can't see anything. You can't see your backpack or whatever. It's just not. It's not going to be really worth using. But if you do it the other way around, you start from a low resolution and then switch to a higher resolution, then your interface becomes a lot tinier and a lot of stuff can load like that. Have you guys ever seen that?
I haven't done that, no.
I've not changed my resolution at all, but that sounds somewhat interesting to use, maybe.
Mm.
That messes up a lot of stuff on your phone in general, like some parts of the UI in the outside of RuneScape, I mean,
Yeah.
they changed a little bit in size and all that. Like I think YouTube picture in picture size is a little bit different in that case. But the point being is that you can change it through that workaround. It's just that it affects everything. And it still probably wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they had that option in the actual like app instead of having to do it on your
Right.
phone, right? Something like that would be perfect. So you don't have to do
Right.
like a workaround for it. Just something that scales up or down your interface, or you know, you can move one or two items like the area loot, or maybe your inventory you can move to somewhere else. Just because sometimes it feels like it's covering so much of the screen on the mobile that it can be very frustrating if you're trying to click somewhere and then you have like obnoxious interfaces in your way.
Probably have like customizable like sizes for every one of them. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the inventory will be this amount of size, but my ability book or my prayer book will be this size when I open it up or whatever, you know?
They might be limited on how much they can do on mobile, I guess, but I feel like the most important stuff, if they made them resizable, I don't think it'd be too hard for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Their goal with mobile wasn't to make it the exact same as PC. Their goal is actually like to. It is supposed to be that their like target audience is supposed to be players that do casual things. It's not supposed to replace PC with PVM. Although it's interesting to see how far it's be able can go with Lucario, for example, and what could be changed for the better. I think their general aim is to have an all-round good client for people to do casual things on.
Right. Now, like, I'll be clear, I'm not expecting people to be able to suddenly do high-end PVM very easily because that's just a limitation of mobile. But I do feel like there are some relatively easy changes to polish up the client to make it better for everyone, I feel like.
Plus, yeah, like the scaling UI and stuff would be something that would polish it up regardless what you're doing.
Yeah, and multi-tap as well. That'll
Yeah.
make a lot of stuff a lot
Multi-tap is very good. That would even for that would help people that play mobile only, but like play the game better in general, anyways.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the
Because
case.
there are mobile-only players, like quite a
Mhm.
I
lot.
wonder how many mobile-only players there are.
I have a lot in my comments. I'm not even joking, dude.
Yeah, I was looking through them, and there's surprisingly a lot of them, which is pretty cool to see. That there's like another avenue of like way that you can play the
Yeah,
game.
there's
Mm.
players that are literally like there's someone that told me like he got like 10.99 on mobile. I'm just like, whoa, dude, that's a lot of mobile gameplay time.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's like it sucks your battery. Can I just say that? It makes my phone really hot. I have a glass back Galaxy S10, and it's awful when it gets
yeah.
hot.
Can we? Yeah, let's go into that. What's everyone's phone? I'm using a Samsung S20 Plus. What about you guys?
I got a Sony Xperia something.
Aren't you
Sony, Sony,
Yeah.
they still make phones. No offense, by the way, it's like the brand. Just saying, but they still
Yeah,
make
yeah.
phones. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh.
It does RuneScape Mobile, and it has a good enough CPU that you can like lock your phone or minimize the game and then reopen it, and it's still running and stuff, right?
Nice. That's really good actually. Because if you want to like tap out and do something else, you don't log it. That's a good, especially if you're AFKing, by the way.
Yeah, that was my favorite part about mobile, the fact that I could save battery. So the reason why I thought it was not too bad when I was AFKing it was because I'd click something on the Arc and then I'd lock my phone for a couple of minutes. Then I'd unlock my phone and click once again, lock it.
Ah.
I haven't.
I know you can't do that with like PVM and stuff, like for like actively playing the game, but when I'm AFK, my phone would never overheat and the battery drain wasn't bad because I'd continuously lock it.
I never tried. I never tried like AFK stuff like that. I always did was like I was just like try that out, and it's just like try out like little things, but I'll always like pay attention to it and focus
yeah.
on the game.
You don't seem like the AFK type to me.
Nah, not exactly. However, but in terms of battery life, for me, when I was doing my mobile Telos stuff, I was lasting for 3 hours at low everything, but at 60 frames per second and textures on. I don't think I was on power save though.
I haven't checked, but I thought it would be like 5. I haven't done like a really extended run. The longest I've played a mobile was like an hour.
I was playing for 3 hours in total, but if I turn on power save mode on my phone, it could squeeze out a couple more minutes, like 20 or so minutes, I think.
That's pretty
Bad for RuneScape, right? It's like 3 to 4 hours. It's. I'm gonna try this out at some point for a full review, but I'm wondering like if you turn everything to the lowest, because I know you can change a few things, or at least you could.
Yeah.
When like a year ago you could. I haven't really checked the graphic settings since, but I'm wondering if you can't get 8 hours of battery life out of it. It's actually a bad idea to play RuneScape Mobile on the move if you use your phone a lot, because if you like 3 hours, like if you just look at 3 hours, right? That's
Right.
33% per hour. So if you play an hour of RuneScape, you're
Mm-hmm.
screwed if you have to use your phone for the rest of the day for
But a
other
lot of
stuff.
people have like battery packs nowadays, right?
Yeah,
In
true,
2021. Those battery packs do how many charges? Like 8 or something. So you technically can have like, so much more, like 20 hours of gameplay if you have a battery pack and your phone.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
That would solve it. You make a good point, Michael. That's actually that's a really good argument actually. Damn.
Because like every mobile game drains your battery. Like I played Pokemon Go and I'd go out for like 3 hours and my battery would be dead and I'd have to pull out the battery pack and start charging it. It's like the same as RuneScape's drain rate. So in terms of like phones being drained on a mobile game, no matter what mobile game it is, they always get absolutely destroyed. I guess they're not made for gaming or whatever and it just happens. But the battery packs are super useful. You just charge it overnight and then if you're going to be playing, you just chuck that on and you're good to go kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And again, I'm running the game at 60 frames per second. If you lower to 15 or 30, which is the other settings you can do on mobile, you could probably get a lot more mileage out of it. Like right now, I'm running the game at 30.
Mm-hmm.
That it still gets hot, right? I'm just talking for glass backs here, which is most of the more let's say pricey modern phones. They all have
This guy's
glass backs.
flexing his phone. What the hell?
Mine's like old. I have an S10. I mean, it's really expensive when I bought it. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of,
Yeah.
but they get warm, and it's not a big deal. You could put a case on. It's not that bad. You could even buy a case that has a literal fan. You could even get like a liquid. It doesn't matter. But it's really annoying when your phone gets hot. At least in my opinion,
Yeah.
I hate it, dude. It's awful.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a case on my phone, so I never really felt the heat. It did get a little hot, but I never really felt the full burn of it.
You should take it off for once, just to check it out. It's actually awful to hold. It's like
That means I have to go back to PVM on mobile.
Oh, you don't wanna go back?
I don't.
He's
I've been
like
scarred. I've been scarred for
traumatized.
life.
Honestly, I understand. Like 4K Telos must have been a nightmare. I'm not even gonna
It
lie, dude.
was easily the most annoying thing I've ever done. I've done a lot of things.
It took you how many hours?
Around 40 or so.
The fact that
think.
it took you
What?
40 hours to do no food 4K Telos is still mind-boggling on mobile.
40 hours, dude?
Let's see. 45 hours. Never mind. Yeah,
All on
45
stream?
hours. Yeah, all on stream.
Wow, dude. That's so much time spent into doing one boss on that's a lot, dude. That's
Yeah. To be fair, most of it was like spent like trying out new things. Some of it, but like at the same time, I probably could have cut it down. But who knows? Whatever.
I mean, I feel like that's a very short time to get such a big achievement. I don't think
nope.
many, if any, other people could have got it in that time.
Well, like, can we go off topic here?
Sure.
Okay, just like a little bit here, but
I like all off-topic stuff in podcasts. Just gonna say it's the best. Like honestly, it is.
okay, but like that's actually among the longest because like the other longest thing aside from 200 ks 4K start, that one took like 150 or so hours in total over the course of 2 months. The next thing after that was Solo Select, which after scale, which was 50 to 60 hours, and then after that is just like stuff like Beastmaster, No Peddlers. I think that's like 38 hours.
How much was solo AOD?
40, I think.
Mm-hmm.
30 or 40.
So it's still fairly like consistent-ish around the same time as what your other feats have taken. And this was on
Yeah.
mobile though, and you were learning mobile at the same time.
Right. And it's also like there's no documentation for like how to PVM on mobile as much, so you gotta make it up.
Yeah.
Cario.
What's up?
Mobile guides when, please? Tell us guide, please. Thank you.
Mobile.
Oh no.
You can expect a mobile guide whenever I get around to making a magic guide for Telos, which is never.
Oh yeah, because magic. Ah, I see, Mr. Ranged and Melee kill streak man.
Yes.
I see.
Yes. But yeah, getting back to like the technical stuff, like and compared to other mobile games, like what do you guys think of like the graphical fidelity of RuneScape mobile compared to like other games that you see on the market? Like if your guys are super into that or at least have like a vague idea of it?
I'd say if you look at PC games, right, RuneScape is pretty trash. If you look at
Yeah.
mobile games, RuneScape
Mhm.
is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah, I
not
agree with that.
like the best looking games are like the other MMORPGs. That Asphalt 8 game, that racing game looks really good. It's a
Right.
racing game, hard to compare, but I'd say mobile wise, it's definitely very appealing graphically.
Yeah, it's surprisingly nice for a mobile game. Because like I was comparing it because I downloaded Genshin Impact and I was like looking at side by side, yeah, Genshin does look better, but RuneScape still surprisingly holds its own
Yeah.
to a degree.
And like the thing is with RuneScape in particular is it's like open world, which is kind of cool for a mobile game because most mobile games they may have like really good graphics, but it's just you load up a map or an instance and do it. It's not the
Mhm.
whole game all at once. So I think they've done well to have it on mobile and have it run how it runs. Even though we've said like lots of bad things about mobile, it's still they've made it well and they've optimized it pretty well. And I feel like a game like RuneScape, when you can either play it properly and it doesn't really lag and you can chill and you can do what you want to do, except for a couple of issues, or you can literally, lock your phone or even minimize the tab and go on like Google Chrome and search something on the wiki, come back to your game and your game's still up and running. You don't have to relog in and stuff. I feel like that's really well optimized and really good. Because a lot of other games that I've played on mobile don't even have that function. Like if you ever minimize or lock your screen, you just have to reload it. So I really like the fact that it continues your actions and everything in the background. So that's really good. Even though it does have its disadvantages, it has its good uses as well. But I this is kind of like off topic to mobile specifically, but I feel like with the release of mobile coming in like June or wherever it's coming, I feel like they need to fix the servers or improve the servers before mobile release. Because right now, on like double XP and bossing weeks and stuff like that, we have like 400 people at peak times, and that causes way too much lag on the worlds as it is. Imagine that plus people at work AFKing ARC or AFKing whatever activity they're doing added to that many online people. So even if mobile doesn't bring in loads of new people, it's just going to allow people to AFK, right? But then say there's 10% more people AFKing on the game, that's then taking it from 400 people at the max times on double XP or something to 450 people. And then that's a big issue because then everyone's got like a 2-second delay.
Oh, yeah. I haven't really felt like a lot of double XP / combat week woes as a lot of people. In fact, like stuff like Soyaka I done on double XP. But at the same time, they really do need to fix that for everyone else.
So you find it fine to PVM in a world of like 400 people?
Oh, I just mean that my worlds aren't really affected.
That's interesting. Like the top PVMer basically, content creator wise anyways. How do you not like mind it? Like there's people like reading about it that do Vindicta. You know what I mean?
Well, it's just because of my world, I think. Because my world is like typically really good with it.
Is it East Coast, West Coast?
I think it's East Coast, but it doesn't really matter because I live in central USA. So like either way, I'm gonna have to connect all the way from there. It's like I'm smack dab middle. But at the same time, if I need to use a different US world, I'm good.
That's interesting because I was doing bossing week and I was helping people with Raksha, and because it was bossing week and at peak times, I couldn't find a world with less than 400 people. And the lowest world I had that I was teaching people on was like 400. But I died once or twice in like 6 hours or something due to just not being able to prayer flick. Because it's got like the 2-second delay or whatever. It has a huge delay.
Yeah, I feel like that they really should look at that. Like they probably need more like in particular EU worlds that have that can support that because in my experience, American worlds are all mostly fine.
That's interesting. I've also found, I guess, linking into that point, if it's peak times for EU and I go on a world with like 350 people, I lag more on an EU world with 350 people than a US world with 200.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I could go to a US world with like, half the population at peak times and I'll do better on a US world, which is weird.
That should never ever happen. Like,
because it says I have like 100 MS or something, so I obviously have more than that at peak times on the EU
that's why
world.
some people use German servers, even though they live in America. But for me, it's worse. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I can't use them. Sorry.
So basically, what you guys are saying is the Dutch colonized the servers, huh?
There's a surprising amount of people. There's a surprising amount of Dutch people like on that.
Yeah,
tangent.
exactly.
Really
like
RuneScape, it's hilarious.
Like the Dutch worlds, if you like DXP, that World 10 and World 123 are. I mean, they're pretty big worlds in general. Like I didn't realize like that the people left now. There's a lot of Dutchies.
Now imagine trying to do all that on mobile.
Yeah,
I'm
scared, dude. Because I genuinely think mobile's gonna make the player base is gonna double easily. Yeah, with old school happened, and that was just nostalgia, people probably. RuneScape 3 is going to appeal to a large group of people.
You reckon there'll be a lot of new players from mobile?
Yes, I definitely think so.
Especially considering it'll be hyped up, I would assume. Like if it's on the top of the Play Store or the App Store, then that's gonna get eyeballs on it, and people are gonna try it out.
That's true. Yeah. If it is like top 5 trending this week and it's there, obviously that's definitely going to get eyeballs for sure.
Right.
But do you really think that like new players are going to stick with mobile for a long time? I feel like
no.
It's if they're doing like all their activities and they're questing on mobile and stuff, I don't know how much they're going to stick with the game.
Questing. Apparently that's a really bad thing on mobile. I'm not sure if that should be changed. I still have to actually do a quest on mobile, but I've heard from others that there's still glitches with quests, which Taki Maki actually put in his review, that some quest puzzles aren't actually, like, you can't do them on mobile or something. There's something wrong with them.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can't test that out without on my alt, but like, yeah.
Something about quests is just bad on mobile. I can see why, because there's things about quests that are so old that are bad on PC. So
yeah, so now imagine that on mobile. But like about like people sticking around, we can compare this to old school, right? Like what was the drop off on that? I know old school has its own like stipulations, like there's RuneLight, which makes the PC experience like orders of magnitudes, like even better than
That's
like
true.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like we
Mhm.
but we can debate all that. How was the drop off for old school mobile? Like
Was it?
what did that do in general?
That is. It looks like they pretty much all quit after like a month. It went down. Yeah, it looks like it. A month or
Okay.
two.
Based on these trends, do you think that RS3 mobile would follow those trends, or do you think that it will buck them somehow?
I think it's going to increase the player base more than Steam did because even if those players don't like mobile, they're going to be introduced to the game and might actually get on PC. And you shouldn't underestimate mobile players because if they get addicted, they're addicted, dude.
That's a good point, saying that like if they are introduced to the game and they quite like it, they may try it on PC. That's fair
Right,
to
and
say that we might get some more PC players from that.
It's cross-platform. You don't lose anything if you just switch to PC.
Yeah.
That's the really good thing about mobile.
They should market it that way because, dude, Jagex should say it's cross. Like when you start, they should say it's cross-platform because that's a selling point. Because if you can,
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
oh wow, I should actually message their Daemon about this. They should definitely.
There should be like a pop-up or something or something like that saying that like once they maybe have played it a little bit, maybe they could have a pop-up just saying this is also on PC and it's cross-platform, and then they could just like close that off if they
Yeah.
want to
Right.
feel it might
Yeah,
entice
instead of
them
like a
to play
treasure
it.
hunter pop-up, do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That can't be that hard to do, right? Easy coding.
I mean, they have treasure hunter pop-ups 24/7, so I'm sure they have a code for a pop-up.
Exactly. And you know how people on mobile games play a lot of mobile games, even if they're absolute trash, just because they want something to do.
Yeah, I guess so. And RuneScape has a lot to do.
Right.
And it's simple, just like Cookie Clicker. It's the same thing, dude. It's exactly the same. Okay, that's a little harsh against RuneScape.
It might be a little bit too far, but
It's still a
yeah.
good comparison for the skilling aspect of RuneScape as like a cookie
Kinda.
clicker. You click a rock, and then like you level up your mining.
Bit more in depth, bit more pizzazz to it.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Cookie Clicker of extra steps. There we go, dude.
But like, I feel like it'll be interesting to see how well the launch goes because they're gonna hype it. They're gonna hype it so much.
Dude, they hyped up a mini quest event. Let's be honest. They're gonna hype up mobile. Like they're gonna stream like 3 weeks before like they. Okay, that's a little over the top, of course. But,
Yeah, that announcement was.
yeah, 7 hours stream. Dude. Oh. dude.
Yeah, they didn't even do for archaeology.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't the right choice. It's
It's
good
not-
that they announced it, of course.
Yeah, but it's like whatever. I'm not too mad. It's like it's silly, but there are bigger fish to fry.
Yes, I shifted my entire day, dude. I was like, it's gonna be the announcement. Pepper hands, dude.
Unfortunate.
I was like ready to go. I like cooked earlier. I did.
You just needed that one little push from Jax. You should thank them.
But back to mobile. I saw a Reddit poll about what is harder, 4K Telos on the Inferno, and there's like an angry debate. So basically, on mobile, 4K Telos is probably harder than the Inferno because there's only one, right?
Oh no, I mean it is harder, 100% anyway.
But are we biased?
No, we're not biased. The amount of extent that Luca had to go through with his binds and everything, and to make it work, versus mostly being prayer flicks and a couple of gear switches on old school mobile. I know, like, you have to stand in the correct places and stuff as well, but surely, like, 4K Telos no food on mobile is way harder than just Inferno on mobile. It has to be. I know Inferno's not exactly easy,
There's no food.
but,
No.
like, yeah.
But
Exactly.
then again, using food would probably make it harder, because then you have to give up even more binds.
That's
Yeah,
interesting,
true.
actually. Would you actually say it's harder? Like, actually, like,
I don't know. I don't want to know.
Telos without food is easier than with food. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Just don't
Yeah,
eat forehead.
It's like okay, you have like no binds at all there. Like I already gone into it, but it's like you have no binds. You want me to add in 2 more binds if you're selfish soup and you're super bruised? No!
And you can't click them at the same time.
You can't! You can't! You literally can't because
He's having a meltdown, dude.
I think we gave him a meltdown, yeah.
I think this is what happens if you play 45 hours of mobile. Telos, dude.
Do not recommend.
But I do want to say, Evil Lucario, you're planning on doing something else in the future with 4K Telos, and what's that?
Huh?
Doing it on a Guitar Hero controller.
I need, dude. I will literally. I'll just stop making. I won't even PvE anymore if that works, dude. I'll just quit the game. Dude.
How are you looking to hook it up? Are you doing it all with a controller, even with the mouse and everything?
No, I'm holding the entire Guitar Hero controller in my hand.
Mm-hmm. And then,
That's-
do you move the mouse with like the strum?
No, it has an analog stick on it.
Oh right, yeah, it does. Yeah.
That'll be okay, I think. I hope it works. If it doesn't work, then I just back myself in the corner, huh?
It's not like 4 buttons on one of those things. I don't know. I've never done it.
5 buttons and like 2 strum inputs
Yeah.
and a whammy bar and 2 other buttons.
You are going to have it's gonna be something, dude.
Did I just throw you
Very
in it by saying that?
Hey,
Hey, you said you wanted to do it.
yeah, I did.
Hey, Luca, you should. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say now he has to be held accountable. You've heard it here first. Make sure you comment down below that Luca has to do 4K Telos on a good old Guitar Hero guitar.
Yeah, I was gonna do it anyway, so I was like, your accountability only reinforces it. That's
There
it.
you go.
But yeah, I do feel like that mobile might stick around like for like the new players. But actually, what about you guys? Do you see yourself playing on mobile like in the future? Like I'll log onto it every now and then.
I do it for the AFK stuff.
What about other videos? Like, yeah, do you guys have any plans to make more mobile focused videos, or is this going to be strictly PC focused?
I have plans, but they're like not many. Like I have a few. I have like 4 ideas written down I want to make, but that's about it. Like that's the only reason I would play mobile because I don't have any like things I'm working towards like AFK wise.
Right. Okay. What about you, Maikeru?
So I think I do maybe a couple of like the basic tutorials for mobile when it comes out to help out the newer players with like maybe how to set up X, Y, and Z, or how to use the UI, or where to find things and stuff like that, right? Like the generic basic stuff that people can use to help them. But I don't think I'm going to be doing like tons of like crazy stuff on mobile or anything like that. I just use it as like AFK. So on my main, sometimes I'll gather clues on it while like eating food with the family or something. I'll just have it on the side and press it every 5 minutes, you know? Something like that is what I use mobile for, really.
I will mostly use it for player on ports. Actually, I wanna go into this because this is like a really cool feature of mobile that I think would be fantastic if they capitalize on it. So, do you guys know that if you send out a mission on ports on mobile and then it finishes, you get a notification on your phone?
I've seen that in my comments,
That's
actually.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you do ports on your mobile device, you're able to get instant notification once it finishes, and like, okay, your voice is returned. Go tap here and load up the game and go do it and stuff like that. That's really good. I think that they could do a lot more of that. Like
Yeah, that's
more
really
timers and
cool.
stuff like that. Like, let's say like a daily, like you like daily reset comes around and then it's like, hey, your daily is reset. Click on me, play
Yeah.
me, and stuff like that.
Just like the other mobile games, like, hey, dude, you gotta click on me and play this game, bro. Come on, you're missing
Is
out.
that-
That's
Exactly.
every game does
Yeah.
that. Actually, they do.
Okay.
Push.
Yeah, push
they do a lot of push
notifications.
notifications. But basically, I feel like they could capitalize a little bit more on it. I think it could potentially be spammy, which is why there should be more toggles of those notifications. Although it probably already exists on like my Android settings, like I could just like disable notifications. Period. I
Mhm.
do feel like that would be like a really good way to like help supplement the PC experience too, because it's like, okay, here's my ports. It's coming back at this point in time. But if I had like a notification for like, okay, my farming run can be ready. Like I want to do that and stuff like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting if they could monitor like your tree is fully grown, something like that.
Like I'm just spitballing here, but stuff like
Grand
that, like
Exchange.
beyond Grand Exchange would be fantastic. Like that's like
They had it on the old GE
Yeah.
app thing.
The companion app, yeah.
Yeah, the companion app was really good for like flipping and stuff, and a lot of people would do it while at work and stuff. You can still do it with the RuneScape mobile, but if they did have like a notification for it, I think it'd help a lot. Yeah.
Right. And the key difference is that on companion, you could use the GE no matter where you were in the game world. On mobile,
Yeah.
you have to
True.
physically teleport there too. So,
Yeah.
but speaking of companion and mobile, why did it remove the lobby, like lobby chat? Like why?
Hold on.
Like
There's no lobby chat in RuneScape. Am I blind?
they removed it. It's I don't know why did they remove it.
I have not noticed, but that's because I'll talk about that later. I don't like the chat in mobile.
Okay, typing on it sucks. It's buggy.
Yeah.
And like sometimes like the words like when you backspace on it, it just like combines into each other. Like what even goes on there? Like okay, typing does suck, but it's also like there's no lobby chat.
Typing is awful. The only place you would want to type would be in the lobby, probably. I ignore everyone on mobile. I hate typing to people.
It's
Please don't
so
PM me.
bad. I literally turned PM off the entire time I was
Yes, see
doing
what I
it.
mean?
So I literally disappeared off the face of the earth in private for 2 weeks.
Oh man, Michael, don't you think it's? What about you, dude?
Yeah, I
Like,
completely
it's-
agree. I've never used the
It's
chat on mobile except
so
for once.
bad. Like they like that's like a key problem. Like I think that could legitimately be a huge deal breaker because RuneScape is a social game. You want
Yeah.
to like interact with a lot of other people in the game. And if the way to do it is buggy and doesn't work, then
It's awful, dude. Like they need to have a mobile option as well. Like when you're in the world, when you look at your friends on PC, they should say like that they're on mobile. In my opinion,
yes,
like
that it absolutely should.
or do not disturb or something. You know, like don't PM me because seriously, like I don't want to get PM'd on mobile. I like feel bad I'm ignoring friends.
Yeah. They have the little symbol on old school, right? And then RS3, you have the symbol to like what game you're on. So if someone's on old school RuneScape on your friends list, it has that little old school RuneScape symbol.
Yes.
They just put a mobile symbol there. So if they're
Yes.
on mobile, you know they're on mobile. So if they don't reply, you understand that the chat sucks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I just want to say the chat box as well. I found with Slayer, I wanted to see the rare drops, but I didn't want to open the chat because it's big,
Yeah.
ugly.
Like if you fully expand the chat box, you hide everything. Like you hide the health bar too. Well, I mean, I don't know why you have the full chat box there, anyways. But like still,
Like summarizing the biggest issues of mobile, I think that we've discussed would probably be the chat sucks.
Mhm.
The UI needs like a bit of customization in it where you can maybe toggle some stuff on so you can hide or show or resize or move. For example, the loot interface in your middle of your screen
Mhm.
doesn't make much sense to be in the middle of the screen. And, you know, the mini map got fixed, so they put that in the bottom corner for a bit, but then they changed that back to the top corner. But even being able to potentially move your mini map location, because they've obviously got the power to do that by
Yeah.
releasing that. Something like that, just customizing it a little bit more would be nice. So you could customize it like you customize it on the desktop a bit. Obviously not as much, but just a bit more customizability and the chat being improved and not be garbage and buggy. And then I think they're like the main things, and the double tap. Being able to double tap or a toggle to turn double tap on. I think they're like the main
Right.
things. Would you agree?
Yeah, there are probably easier ways to like PvM on mobile though, like techniques to do it on mobile for those mobile only players. Like that could probably be elaborated on.
Like the most I would go to is you know AFK Rafiz, Greg, Goldrush Dungeon 2, and Dagonoff. You know that's like a good summary of like bosses you can do on mobile,
Right.
just fine.
Yeah,
Right.
like the ones that are like decent to do on mobile. You can do more
Mhm.
than that, obviously, but
That's the
you're gonna need to have been like if you're a newer player coming to RuneScape Mobile and then you end up going bossing. I don't think if you're newer to the game, you're learning PVM. I don't think you're gonna be able to do much more than like Gold Dungeon 2.
I'd say you'd
Yeah.
probably struggle with you know perhaps I think Hellware would be pretty on mobile.
Could be pretty difficult, yeah.
I
Hell-
saw like a video on mobile with that. It didn't look too bad.
I mean, you need
But
a shield
then
switch.
then it,
Right?
then Well, they had a Revolution bar set up for it, and it didn't look too awful, but like, who
But if you're
knows?
non-experienced, right, like it's gonna be pretty challenging.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
again, I have the knowledge, but like other people are not gonna have that knowledge. So like,
Mhm.
you know,
That's the only thing when it comes to like the whole will mobile players stick around. I feel like they'd stick around until they get to like the end game, like more end game stuff, and then I think it might be too overwhelming for them. But then they may go to desktop at that point because they've invested a lot into the game. So
either that or they just keep doing whatever they want to do and be like, okay, I'm gonna keep whaling.
yeah, they don't bother about
You
bossing.
get that 5.6 bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's whale that much.
If they play to anywhere above 2K total, I can guarantee you they're not gonna just quit.
yeah,
Probably.
exactly.
Probably, yeah.
Sure, there'll be some, but like at that point, you'll probably stick around. You'll be in the the RuneScape crack.
Kind of.
Might
Yeah.
entice people to stick around with the desktop version, which is kind of cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really focusing on the newer player experience and stuff because they done like the rework to like the intro and everything like that. They made the lesser
Yes.
abilities and everything like that, right? So they really focus on
Which
that
are
new
all good
player.
things. It's just that they need to go even more of that,
Yeah.
like make proper combat tutorials that actually tell you how to play the video game.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
stuff
good.
like that.
The thing,
Mhm.
one thing that I wanted to comment on that I guess is kind of like maybe a tinfoil hat moment from me, but when you sign up and you pre-register to mobile, you get rewards and you progress towards the rewards depending on how many people have pre-registered to mobile. And the people who had the beta automatically get pre-registered. But we only have like one or two of those rewards unlocked, and I'm guessing a lot of people have already pre-registered now. I feel like those rewards, they didn't give us numbers for it. They didn't say once you reach this amount of players, it unlocks. They didn't say the amount. They just said once we get a certain amount of pre-registers. I'm pretty sure they're just going to be like unlocking as they go, and when they're just about to release, they're like, please, we just need a couple more pre-registers and we'll have it all unlocked. Come on, guys, get your last pre-registers in. And then they're going to be like, oh, we hit it just in time, like the day before, even though it probably was hit ages ago for their actual like figures or whatever because they didn't give us numbers. Does that make sense?
I get it. I get it.
Actually, I think the more signups they get, the better it will be for like marketing and stuff like space and on the app. If that makes sense? Like,
Yeah,
just like on
yeah.
Steam, like if you can prove that you have a big player base wanting to buy your game or whatever on Steam, they can put you on the front page. If you're an indie game with no followers, they're not gonna do it. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying isn't that they're not going to get a lot of signups. They're going to get a lot of signups. They're going to get a lot of pre-registers. But what I'm saying is they didn't give us numbers specifically so they can be like, this has never been hit until right at the end. Because if they gave us numbers and it got hit early, they're not going to get as much from it.
Oh, right.
They can build the hype the whole time by being like, it still hasn't been hit, even though if they gave a number of like 1 million, there may be obviously 1 million's too much, but say they gave a number of like, I don't know, 10,000, 100,000, 200,000, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If they hit that number, the hype's then died down. They haven't given us numbers, so the hype never dies.
Bro, 5 head. That makes so much sense. Not gonna lie, dude. That makes
What,
so much
watch
sense.
it just before it gets released. They're like, we hit it just in time, guys. I 100% guarantee.
I feel like that'll be more common in the industry than you think.
Yeah,
Which is
probably.
why it's not like super surprising.
Hmm.
But that's, I don't know.
That was the only thing that I wasn't like, I was a little bit like about because they didn't give us the numbers of the signups.
I actually tried to, jab a question in that direction, but I didn't get an answer. I'm surprised it didn't. I mean, that's probably why I didn't say your comment made so much sense.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna happen, but we'll have to wait and see on that one, I guess. So obviously we'll have to start rounding off and stuff. Is there passing comments that you guys want to do on the roundup part?
Mobile stuff to PC, like there are some stuff that were introduced solely because of mobile. Target
Mhm.
cycling, for example, was made because of mobile, and that's been like a huge, like it's been like really good for PC
Yeah.
players as well. You know, tile markers, those originated on mobile only. Then it was moved to PC. That was like really, really good. I love those
Yeah.
things.
Lesser
Um,
abilities.
Lesser abilities, very good change. Like changes in general that are just good, made because of mobile, but good in general. Like
Mm-hmm.
What do you like to see?
What would I like to see?
Yeah, like what do you think that like annoys you like particularly with mobile when you're like playing on it? They're like, okay, I want this like kind of thing that like introduce it solely because of mobile, but it'll also benefit the PC experience too.
Hmm.
One thing I would think that will benefit mobile, especially like it will also benefit PC. Banks should have a withdraw last preset option.
So like another preset button thing, kind of.
No, it would literally just be like you withdraw the last preset you've used.
So you don't have to worry about going and looking for the specific preset and pressing like number 10 or something.
Yeah, you can just like you can just hold a tab and then hit withdraw last preset, and then you just get your preset immediately, and then you can just go back. So you don't need to
Yeah,
worry
pretty
about looking
nice.
in the bank. And
That's a good one,
bring-
dude. That's really
yeah,
good.
that's something that also really benefit PC. But like I think skilling as a whole, because skilling is like a big focus of mobile, right?
Yeah.
That would be a really good update for that. And also benefit PC too. You'll save one extra tick every time you bank for making potions, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I would like to see in mobile would be what a decent amount of other MMOs do is have a way of showcasing who a quest NPC is during the quest, whether it be an exclamation mark above their head or like a little icon above them or something. So on mobile, when you're like trying to do quests that are obviously a bit more difficult, even if it's just a mobile only thing and it is on the PC version, but just having like the next part of the quest more visible to a mobile player just to help them through the quest a little bit, whether it be marking an NPC, marking an area. We have it on the PC and mobile with like the mini map sometimes on some quests where it has like a area that it highlights in blue. I like that. That's really cool. But they need to do that more or like a little bit more in depth for mobile, because it would definitely help some of the more annoying content on mobile being a bit less annoying. Just so like this is the NPC you got to talk to, and then you can go talk to them,
Actually, I want to elaborate on that because on mobile specifically, this doesn't exist on PC. There's a graphics option where I don't know if it's graphics, but it's like you can, entity highlighting where you hover over something and it glows a different color.
Mm-hmm.
On mobile, there's a setting where you just run around. They're already highlighted as is. Like you don't need to tap over them. You just run up to them and then they're automatically highlighted. That's only on mobile, not on PC.
When you get near to them.
Yeah, when you get near to them.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So that's already they already did something of a sort with mobile only stuff so you could potentially be like, okay, I'm looking for this needle in a haystack. I'm doing Wild Gothic Sleep. I'm in this weird base. Where am I supposed to go? Stuff like that, and that would probably help a lot of mobile. Should I come to PC as well? Like,
I'd like to see it on PC. I think it'd be okay. It just helps a little bit with questing. Just marking.
I think it'll be fine because like finding needles in a haystack would be like, okay, click on this or click on that. That's the unfun part of questing that people would not miss at all.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it kind of has that a little bit on like PC even at the moment, because when you hover over certain things, certain NPCs, they have a little icon next to them symbolizing they're with a certain quest, or if you have an item in your inventory, it has a little icon next to it symbolizing it's like from a quest. But instead of just having that little icon when you hover over something, just have it like above their head at all times, even if you're not hovering over them, just make it a little bit more obvious, because they've already got a little bit of that built into the game. Just make it a little bit more obvious, especially for the mobile players, and it would help a lot.
You think that should be game-wide, not just mobile?
I personally do, yeah. I feel like it would help a lot of the people that like to do quests without guides as well.
I think there is some room for streamlining without cutting out some more gameplay parts of it, probably.
Yeah, I mean, don't highlight absolutely everything. If it's a quest where you literally have to like search for X amount of things or search for something in particular, sure, don't highlight that. But if it's just a guy you got to go speak to in the next part of the quest where they're like, go speak to Jared down the road, just highlight Jared down the road. Don't like make it so you have to go find him yourself, just have it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Also, the last thing I want to bring up is a little controversial. The loot radius on mobile. What do you think should be done about that compared to between mobile and PC?
I feel like it's fine how it is, because they buffed it on mobile so that you don't have to run around like a headless chicken compared to PC.
Yeah, it's 15 by 50. 17 by 17 with Lorehound pet out.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? 15 by 15, 17 by 17 with Lorehound.
Yeah, it's insane.
If that was on PC, it'd be dumb. But on PC, you have things like, if you're AFK in, you'll get notified by Alt 1, and you can just telegrab something that's like far away.
Telegrab?
Telegrab is the boomer way of picking up items.
It's the best way, dude. Like, you do Capsaris on PC, you telegrab the keys.
That is... People do that, dude?
Yeah, I do it with
Why
my
not?
clues as well. At Hellhounds, I telegrab my clues.
I mean, it does make a surprising amount of sense, but like... Aw.
Look, they put Telegrab back into public consciousness with Elite Dungeons.
Wait, why Elite Dungeons?
Because
There's some pages you cannot grab without Telegrab.
Oh, I don't grab the... Yeah, that's probably why I don't know.
But, like, I don't think we need that giant area loot on PC, but it makes sense having it on mobile because running around and looting everything on mobile is a lot harder than PC. And we have stuff like Telegrab on PC where we can just use that if we're AFK. So I think it's fine how it is.
Telegrab also exists on mobile.
Yeah, but like...
It also exists on mobile, but it's also, like, incredibly more annoying. It's like, okay.
Exactly.
You tap it, you tap your icon. Cool. Now, try hovering over your item and select that thing, all the while you're getting hit by some random monster. Have fun.
It's not happening on mobile, right?
Doubly so if you're on full mail. I was like, oh, this is actually not fun.
Yeah, so I feel like it's fine on PC how it is, and I like that mobile has an increased range. They may have increased the range a bit too much. So 15 by 15 may be a bit too much. They could probably lower that a bit, but I think it's a good update. And it also makes mobile a little bit better for certain AFK activities, like I mentioned with the Ashes or with Capsaris and stuff. So it gives a reason to use mobile as well that you may not have already have used it for. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that you may opt to go do the AFK stuff on mobile instead of PC because it's also like fairly efficient to do so. If it wasn't efficient to do, you'd get frustrated and tilted. So it makes it a little bit less frustrating.
Stuff like the loot radius being there is like, does mobile need more stuff like that? Whereas like this benefit will be too good on PC, but on mobile it will be basically required to make it like actually function like a video game.
I'm trying to think of something that mobile really needs to PC. It would be too overpowered on PC, and I can't really think of too many.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on it because I can't think of any because I haven't really done a lot of stuff beyond combat and messing around with the settings.
Yeah, I don't really think there is anything because most of the stuff on PC and mobile, when they're shared over, they do the same thing, right? And they work really well. Is there... So I guess one last question for you, Luca, in particular, to round this off.
Okay.
Other than Telos on a Guitar Hero controller, is there any mobile-specific achievements that you want to try and do? Because I know you've been doing like solo Rago and stuff. Would you ever want to try that on mobile? Like a solo-only Rago kill on mobile, like something like that? Do you have anything in the pipeline that you think you might try, or are you done with mobile?
I'm mostly done with mobile-specific achievements. If I ever go back to mobile, it'll be for testing and research.
Okay. That makes sense to be fair.
Like in terms of like actual like combat stuff, in terms of like more like in-depth stuff like that beyond like AFKing, Gregorvik, God Wars 2, God Wars 1, etc. I think that if I were to go back to mobile, just for purely educational purposes and curiosity, not any desire to deeply invest time into. I will probably keep using mobile time to time just because of stuff like ports and checking my bank when I'm away from PC.
Convenient stuff.
Yeah, it's very convenient. That's like the big thing I really like about mobile. It's just so incredibly convenient to be like, okay, I'm laying on a couch downstairs. I don't want to get up. Oh, I can check my ports right now. I'm gonna tap it up and there we go. Easy.
I bet a lot of people merch and stuff on mobile as well, like that they did with the companion app. That type of stuff is really convenient to do, just relaxing. And it's very easy to navigate like the GE window on mobile, really. So I found that normally pretty good to just like click and buy and sell or whatever. That wasn't bad.
Normally like typing like in chat like sucks, but Grand Exchange is surprisingly stable.
Yeah, they done that update recently to the Grand Exchange that made it like less laggy and easier to input and stuff. I think that really helped mobile as well. They
Yeah.
need to do something like that with the chat, and I think that'd be really good, right?
Yeah, chat needs like way better things.
All right. So yeah, thank you for that. And there you go, chat. You guys need to just watch out for this Evil Lucario guy doing 4K Telos on a Guitar Hero controller. You heard it here first. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate everyone listening. Thank you very much for coming on, Luca and Protoxx. I appreciate you both. Beep, beep, beep.
No problem.
Beep, 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 beep. 2 weeks. Beep, beep, beep.